Yeah, that's true. We could have. Y'all do anything?
Y'all don't listen to me, man.
I went to see Breaking In with my mom.
Oh, okay. I heard that was I had mixed reviews on that one. I didn't get to see it yet, but.
Yeah, my mom thought it was good, so that's all that matters.
Right.
Was it fake news?
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, was it what you expected it to be? Like, was it what we expected it to be? Like,
It was worse than I thought it was going to be. Like, way worse. I thought it was going to be bad, but it was not. It was way worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I feel like Mother's Day, though, it's always nice to hang out with the mom and, check in on her. Because my mom, she's living by herself right now, so, it's always nice for her to have company, her sons and her daughter come and see her.
Yeah, let me do my classic plug. At Reluctant Buff on Instagram. We hung out with my grandmother. We took her out. She actually took us out to dinner. She didn't pay, but she picked the venue where we went to, and it was an Italian restaurant. But the thing is, we kind of realized compared to the places we picked, this Italian restaurant, it was expensive, but the food didn't meet up to the price.
Oh man!
So we told her, Mom, next time let us pick. You know what I mean? Because we picked the venue and we picked a place where we could finesse the price a little bit. She was like, it just looked good. But it was a fun time. We was with the family, and that's what matters. And my girl got my mom a gift, and my mom liked it, and yeah, it was a all around pretty solid weekend.
Let's call out this Italian restaurant. What's the name of it?
Buca di Pedo.
Oh, what is that? Where they give you like a big old bowl of food?
You got to choose
pass
between small and large. I'm not trying to say it's a bad restaurant. The food was decent, but it just didn't meet the price though.
Yeah.
Was it Buca di Beppo or Buca di?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've been there before. Yeah, it's all right.
It's okay. I mean, yeah, it's okay.
Somebody told me, and I think I believe this. Someone said that Olive Garden is the equivalent to, like the Italian equivalent to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Y'all agree?
Yeah.
All right. I know people who love Olive Garden. I'm sorry, I can't go there.
My daughter loves Olive Garden and she loves McDonald's.
It's more expensive than McDonald's.
She's a child.
So it's more expensive.
It's more expensive, but it's just not authentic. It's just
I need to know if the quarter pounder is the Great White Hope. Does it taste good now?
it looks thick too. It looks real thick.
Yeah, I don't do burgers.
No, I don't do McDonald's. I haven't done McDonald's in a long time.
I do their breakfast.
I guess the breakfast is actually a little bit better than everything else though.
I can't knock the McGriddle. I mean, the McGriddle was just good to me.
The McGriddle was ahead of its time. I think that was the greatest invention, the food invention we ever had.
No, sliced bread.
I guess you're right. Let's get
cut my own bread off.
I actually don't care for sliced bread like that. I used to love it as a child, and I'm like the white bread, the sliced white bread. I used to love that. I used to eat it all the time, putting my hamburgers on it, and then cut around the edges.
I think there's two great inventions in just life, and that's sliced bread and cable. Because I think cable is the best thing since sliced bread.
No, Netflix now.
But that's part of cable because that's a service, it's a subscription service.
I guess.
Yeah.
So let's get into some current events. I guess this week we had
hold on. We are set in Detroit a little bit. So can we talk about the Conyers thing?
Oh shoot, I missed that. What happened? You need to inform me. What's going on?
Okay, so I think John Conyers' son was running, and he needed I don't know which son it was. I think the son is running against the cousin.
Yeah, Ian versus John. Yeah.
Right. And I think John, the son, he needed a lot of signatures to be required, and he had it, but a lot of those signatures weren't verified to vote, or maybe their license expired or something like that.
Yeah.
So they didn't count. So he can't really run.
Dang, that's messed up. First off, family running against each other, that's not good. I don't know if they should do that.
I also feel like the whole reactionary running thing, you should have been grooming your son and your nephew to run and to be participating in politics. You should have already groomed them for your seat. You should have already been gone. You were too old. You were going to work with your robe on. you old. You should have been gone. This is something that probably should have taken place maybe 10 or 15 years ago. Maybe with a family member that might have been of age. I don't think they were of age.
Yeah, they're still pretty young.
Yeah, grooming your family for politics, making politics a family business. I don't see anything wrong with that. I just feel like this is a reaction to you having to leave due to the sexual assault allegations.
I'm just over the legacy politics anyway, though. I think it's just too many just career family politicians. I can't stand it.
I don't see a problem with legacies.
That's part of the reason we have Trump now. People were like, we don't want another Clinton, we don't want another Bush. That's part of the reason because nobody else stepped up that we had to deal with him. And because nobody wanted legacy. That's not the only reason, granted, but
I think when you look at the reasons why, politics was put in place is for people who represent the community to actually be voted in to represent the community. And these people are so far removed from their communities at this point, man. What's the point? They're just literally just passing it down from their kids to their kids to their kid. So I personally think that we need some people who are, new to politics in general. Mm-hmm. Just voice their concerns because that's what it's about. It's about representation from the people. That's just me though.
So my man's that we had here the other day,
Donovan?
Yeah, Donovan. So how does he kind of like play into what's going on today? Like what's he gearing towards? So
he is, I don't know if he's running for anything currently, but I know he ran for state rep, I think 2 years ago. He came close, he didn't win. And now he oversees the Detroit Young Democrats, and I'm actually going to a meeting with him later today.
Okay.
So he's involved politically. He's in a lot of things, a lot of circles.
Nice.
And I think for him, he's trying to reevaluate, where he wants to go in terms of politics. But I think that he does a great job of, just staying connected. I was having a conversation in one of my classes. We're looking at, the political involvement in the city of Detroit and in terms of like urban youth. And my classmate, she was like, I'm surprised more African-American females don't get involved, in city politics. And I can't really say they're not involved, but I feel like men are sort of groomed to take those roles. And I think it'd be refreshing to have like a mayor, female black mayor or female black, someone who's powerful, who can sort of, take the reins.
You got to have the drive.
But that doesn't mean a lot of women know how to drive. There's a lot of women out here who have to drive. It's just sometimes that door is closed due to reasons that we know. Sexism is one of them. It's a game about who you know. And, I think we need to really open up our borders in terms of figuring out who's allowed to participate in politics. But that's a whole nother topic we can have. I do want to touch on, though, for current events. Let's talk on the shooting that happened in Santa Fe High School in Texas. So I feel like we're so numb to it now.
I wasn't numb.
I'm not numb to it. I have a child. So, like, I'm never numb to, like, school shootings. Having a child, it makes you it makes you vulnerable. And then you put them in the school system and then, something like that happens.
Scary.
Yes.
And it's just crazy to think that this kid, he didn't really show any real signs. Yes, he did have he took pictures with guns, so that's kind of a sign. But for no one to really act on intervening at some point, they see him post pictures of guns. They see him wearing trench coats with all types of insignia from the Nazis and all that stuff on it, and no one said anything.
I think it's not possible for me to be numb about school shootings because it's very disturbing to me. I mean, any kind of shooting is disturbing, but I think school shootings, that's kids. That's youth that hasn't grown up to be adults like us. I think that's what's most disturbing, that their life could be taken away without them fully living it. Yeah. Because really, their lives are not their own now. It's their parents. Mm-hmm. Their parents are taking care of them and growing them on how to be adults like themselves. So that's why school shootings, I don't know if I can get numb to that.
But look how many people the next day, they were worried more about the wedding of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Oh, the wedding was all over my timeline,
right.
Everywhere.
And the shooting disappeared. No one talked about that at all. So I just feel
it was on the news. I went, where did I go? I was at the bar, and it was on the news. I
saw a mixture of both, but I don't even think there should be a mixture. I mean, yes, it needs to be reported on because it is quote unquote important. It's the royal wedding, but I think the coverage could have been a little less.
Yeah, I don't know all the hype, the fanfare about it. I understand it's different because she's a biracial American. Right. So that puts a whole nother perspective on it. But still, you have more significant things going on in our community, in our country, that we're not talking about. And they're never going to talk about the gun rights issue or gun control issue because, again, no one wants to do anything. Everyone wants to involved either through the NRA with money, receiving money. It's too difficult of a topic to even address because it's like, where do you start? And so I think we just sort of, say our thoughts and prayers, go to the victims, and then move on, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do besides, probably like quit your job and like join the fight to like really stop it? I mean, well, I'm being serious because there's a post I saw where there was a man drowning, and then there was like a middle class American male saying, "Oh man, my thoughts and prayers are with you." And the guy's like, "Help me," and the guy's like, "I said my thoughts and prayers are with you," as the guy was like drowning. And I'm like, man, sometimes I feel like I'm that dude, just saying my thoughts and prayers and not really doing anything.
I mean, I think it's the sense of, as citizens, we don't believe that we have the power to do anything. Like we're not in government.
It's donations and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you're dealing with a system that's much larger than we are. I mean, collectively, and unfortunately, we too fractioned, as society to really stand up for one issue. I don't know when the last time we ever agreed on one thing as a country, and we're able to successfully sort of get legislation backed for that one thing. And so it's just like this day and age, I don't see any good or anything coming out of these killings. Nothing's going to change. Regardless of what shooting or event happens next, people are just going to say again, I'm sorry for your loss, thoughts and prayers, and then move on to the next tragedy.
I think I might have some good news.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't fake news, but I followed this like little like community / open forum where people are trying to like end net neutrality. Well, not end net neutrality. We want net neutrality, right? Yeah. So like bring back net neutrality. Right. So I got an email from like the U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow from Michigan saying the Senate passed a resolution to reinstate the net neutrality rules, and now it's on its way to House.
That's a good sign. I mean, the House though, I don't trust the House to really pass anything, but
it's a good step in the right direction. Some good news.
Yeah, and that's definitely good to hear. I know, Anthony, you didn't watch the royal wedding. Shayna, did you watch it?
No.
No, I didn't watch the royal wedding.
Sleep.
Did y'all see clips of it?
I saw clips.
Okay, so this royal wedding, I actually woke up by coincidence, and I was like, all right, I wake up early anyway, so I woke up like at 6:30. Just so happened to turn on the television and watch the royal wedding. I will say that this was one of the most unique royal weddings I've seen ever. And I've only seen 2.
I'd say you see more than one?
Only because you saw the mix of that American, the sort of the black side, and then you saw that the proper British, sort of thing sort of put in there as well. So if y'all, I'm sure y'all saw they had the Bishop Michael Curry, who is a, what is his religion? Episcopalian? He's an Episcopalian bishop. And he brought this real Southern Baptist, style to it. And people were kind of freaked out. They were like, what is this? Like, the British people were just confused.
It's merging the cultures.
And it's merging the cultures. And they had a gospel group that came out and they sang Stand By Me. And it was just such a unique thing that you wouldn't recognize as being, this royal, like this British wedding. It was so like more traditional. It was less traditional, more like modern. I mean, it was unique. And if you find clips online, definitely take a look. It's definitely something that I wasn't used to or wasn't expecting, and it was actually refreshing.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not gonna go out searching for clips.
It's everywhere. Go on Twitter, it's right
everywhere.
there. But I mean to say, marriage is a good thing. Like whoever's getting married, so like I do think that my blessings to them, and I hope they stay married for a long time. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
I mean, seriously.
That's true. I guess that's it for current events. Let's move on to Shayna. You got some hip hop corner stuff?
Wait, hold up. No Trump today? You don't want to talk about Trump?
What about?
What did he do this time?
Didn't Giuliani say something? No, we didn't bribe. Yes, we bribed. Oh, no. North Korea. So we were once at peace, and now they're like, Trump is testing us again because what happened?
So essentially, North Korea, so they had this agreement that they were going to meet with America to discuss North Korea's nuclear weapons and sort of figure out a way to disband or disarm them. And North Korea sort of flip-flopped. Now they're talking about not speaking with Trump, and they don't want to give up their nuclear weapons. Right. And so Trump was so just actively just congratulating himself about this. He thought it was such a big win. But now it's just like it's not going to happen anymore. So you know, it's just one of those things where he didn't close out on the deal yet. So he talks about the art of the deal and just being this great deal maker. We have yet to see this happen so far. So that's all that is. I'm just over talking about Trump. It's just too much.
I know. We got to say something.
We do.
Do we?
Right, do we? That's the question.
It's
Do
current,
we?
It's current events. I mean, we have to say something.
Yeah. All right, Shannon, what's up with your hip hop corner?
I finally listened to the Book of Ryan. Before I listened to the Book of Ryan, my favorite Royce project, like solo project, was Death is Certain.
Okay.
It came out
Success is certain.
Death is Certain. Came out first. Came out around 2004. Success is Certain came out after that.
Oh.
So before that, that was my favorite Royce like project from beginning to end. But this one now is my favorite Royce project. This is like Royce. He's like in rare form. I've never heard him like be this good.
Okay.
And my favorite track is Caterpillar.
Mine is Power.
It's really good.
Okay.
You don't want to say anything more about it? Like summarize what's going on in it, or?
Well, it's like, to me, it's kind of like, for me, it's like B where I can't pick a song like in the middle of the album and then just start listening to. I can't like go through. I have to listen to it from beginning to end because he basically like tells a story like through the whole album.
It's a graphic novel.
It flows. It flows very well.
He's talking to his son the whole time.
Yes.
His son is asking him questions about who he is as a person, his background. I think Royce has come a long way. And I'm glad to see him just, in top-notch form, sober, and I think he's I think he's really on his way to being the best MC. I mean, he already is one of the best, but yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
Did you hear anything else? I wanted to ask you some questions.
Ask me questions about.
I don't listen.
To what?
I don't listen to T Grizzly. I mean, is he good? I know he came out with something, so.
I heard,
from
like,
here.
I was in the barbershop, and they were playing it, and all the songs sound like the one that everybody likes. With First Day Out. Yeah. All the songs sound like that. And it's like his flow is like the same. Like, it's all, and it's the same. The dun, 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 dun. It's all, like, every song was the same. And sometimes, like, my barber will play music, and I'm like, like, I want to listen to that album in its entirety. And that didn't happen. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of here.
Oh wow, that's hurt.
I just feel like T Grizzly. I mean, no, I like his music. I like at least the first couple of songs he made. The First Day Out, and then I think it was Second Day Out or something like that.
Second day and third day.
Third day, fourth day out. I just feel like it's not. It's just kind of, it's not really, I want to say lazy. I just feel like he found his niche and he's just kind of sticking with it. He's not really pushing those boundaries of creativity, which I understand, though, because he found his market. That's your market. That's what people want to hear. But then you also get tired of it to an extent.
I mean,
so it's tough.
Some people, it's kind of all they know. Like, Jeezy, to his credit, he tried to be the street preacher, but I guess he kind of just went back to the trap. I mean, some people are just comfortable in certain genres, like Pusha T. He's president of good music now, and he's still talking about drug dealing. I mean, some people they like they use that as a springboard to exhibit rap poetry. It's just how it is. Some people just feel comfortable talking about certain things.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, are you still kind of like a little hurt, or did you do that Nas list, or?
No. Not done the Nas list.
Like, we're done with Nas. We're through with Nas for.
No,
I'm not through with him, but
I'm not through with him. I haven't gone through my Nas list yet. I do. I need to think about that. I mean, can I do a top 5?
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. So I'm
talking about albums.
I guess my number 1 would be It Was Written. My number 2 would be Illmatic. My number 3 would be Godson. My number 4 would be My number 4 would be Life Is Good. And then my number 5 would be Hip Hop Is Dead.
You put all those albums over Stillmatic?
Stillmatic. Okay.
We got
Let me do it one more
disagreements here.
again. One more again. Okay.
How about you just
Right.
look at my iPod, though? Because I got them all listed.
Okay. I'm going to do it. Number 1, It Was Written.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Illmatic. Number 3, Stillmatic.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 would be Life Is Good. And number 5 would be Hip Hop Is Dead.
So this is subjective. This isn't objective.
Right.
No, it's
Well, I mean,
subjective.
all
It's
right.
all subjective.
Because, yeah, you can't really put facts on someone's opinion.
I
Yes.
know. But I can't put It Was Written over Illmatic, but
I have to.
I can't.
It has more songs, and like I like more songs off of it.
Yeah. I mean,
Debatingly, I like more songs on Speaker Box and Love Below than Aquemini, but I don't think Speaker Box and Love
That
Below
has
is
like
better.
30
It's
songs.
better than Aquemini, though.
wait, so you like more songs on it, but it's not better?
No, it's not, because I like a song in a certain type of mood and point. I like listen to Aquemini front to back.
I can feel you. I feel you on that. All right.
But okay,
That's a good
all right.
list. Yeah, that's solid.
It's solid.
So let
His lip quivering.
he
Man,
mad.
I disagree with some things. I wouldn't put
You
hip
got
hop.
the-
I wouldn't put Hip Hop
You
Is
got the
Dead on
Black
that list.
Panther lip quiver going on over there.
I wouldn't put Hip Hop Is Dead on that list, though.
I love Hip Hop Is Dead.
I only like a handful of songs. Maybe it's just me. I couldn't do it.
Hip Hop Is Dead.
Are-
Okay,
are-
what would you put on there?
Top 5? All right, hold up. Let me look at my iPod.
See, I ain't have to look.
Yeah.
I probably should have, and
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
give you a
missed
frame of reference.
Stillmatic on the first round.
I just want to be detailed here. Okay, first one is Illmatic.
Okay.
Second, It Was Written.
Okay.
Third is Stillmatic.
Okay.
God's Son is fourth,
Okay.
and Untitled and Life Is Good tied for fifth.
Okay. I get that. I like Untitled a lot. Like that song about fried chicken is like the best song I've ever heard about food.
I love Queens Get the Money. I feel like that's one of the best intros.
Yeah, so I have, and this is gonna go into the next segment though for yours.
Go ahead, man.
It's about, all right, 13 reasons why.
I
Part
still gotta
two.
watch the first season.
I fell asleep on the second episode.
For real, you ain't like it?
I watched the first season in its entirety.
Yeah.
I liked it. I watched it the first episode and I kind of fell asleep. It was late, so I haven't finished the second season yet.
I'm like halfway done. It's good. It's a different type of. Give me a frame of reference.
I think that was me.
That was me. I hit the little thing right here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you haven't seen it yet, so it doesn't
Well,
matter.
I mean, go ahead, man. I mean, I'll catch up to it eventually.
We're just showing pretty much the aftermath of after old girl killed herself.
Yeah.
And so sort of leading up to the trial, and everyone's doing their depositions and talking about the case or what happened, and it just gives you a different perspective. I don't want to get into too much of it because I know some people might want to still watch it, but it's pretty good so far. I'm only 4 or 5 episodes through.
Okay.
But I kind of like it. I don't know if I like it better than the first one. The first one was really good, but it's okay. It's good. But I mean, again, it's debatable though. So just watch it, and then
Yeah,
we'll talk about that
I'll
next
watch it.
week. So, Ant, I know I stepped on your toes a little bit, but go ahead, talk about
it's
your
all good.
your 2 cents.
2 cents. Like I said, follow me on Instagram at Reluctant Movie Buff. I haven't been writing reviews lately. I've been trying to move into my new house, but
Sorry,
that's pretty much all set up now. Yeah. So how about I just start with Deadpool? I saw Deadpool 2.
Okay.
So I was like beyond geek for this movie. Usually with the superhero movie, I need a hype man. So I brought my girl with me to see Infinity War, and that ended up kind of funny because by the end I was geeked. Like, man, that was a ballsy ending, and she was just like in tears, like, oh my god, But this movie, I went to see it with my friend Ian. You know what, man? It was funny. It was exactly what Deadpool should be, and this is kind of where me and Randy disagree. But I kind of expected it to be a little more.
Yeah.
Like they gave Deadpool a moral dilemma, and they low key stole the plot from Looper with the villain Cable. But I feel like it was kind of just the same movie, just a little longer, and I was a little disappointed. Like, it's funny. The movie does its job.
That was always
It's
funny.
very
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, Deadpool does its job, but it's just like I just kind of expected a little bit more.
Yeah, I heard some people really liked it, others really hated it. So I'm kind of like curious how to.
I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I
I heard
really enjoyed it, but I also had I was at the movies and they had a Deadpool. They called it a Deadpool daiquiri, where it's basically a daiquiri with Hennessy. So I had that before I went to see Deadpool, and
So
I
you
guess
were nice.
yeah,
Right, you was feeling
I
good.
thoroughly enjoyed.
You was feeling nice and happy, relaxed, ready to go.
Who'd you go with?
I went with Anthony.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. Is it just me? Am I tripping? Like, did you expect a little bit more, or you expected what you got?
I expected what I got. I thought it was funnier than the first one. Like I liked the
I don't know if I can say that. Like, I think the first one was a little funnier.
But I also had a daiquiri with 2 shots of Hennessy in it. So.
I mean, I was a little buzzed too, but I don't know, man. I feel like the first one, I mean, it is an origin story and everything, but I feel like it was more like straight out the gate.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't expect a superhero this meta. And this one kind of just built off of that, and it was like, I don't know. I feel like some jokes kind of went too long.
How did Zazie Beetz do?
Oh, she was great. You know, she did her job.
Okay.
I also like a lot of the jokes. Like if you're like, because they had like an 11 joke.
Yeah, they had an 11
They had
joke.
an 11 joke.
They
They
kept
had
frying Wolverine, man. They
They
were
had
frying him in
Wolverine
that movie.
jokes. They had Black Panther jokes.
Yeah. I think at one the guy that plays Cable in the film, Josh Brolin, he plays Thanos. I think at one point they hinted that they made a joke towards Infinity War.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, like so. If you don't watch a lot of stuff, like a lot of the jokes may have gone over your head, may go over your head.
Right.
Y'all, let's break down Atlanta this last episode, y'all.
Okay.
Hold up. Before we get into that,
Yeah.
before we get into Atlanta, because that's going to be a conversation.
Okay.
So, Evil Genius.
Oh yeah.
I got to get into this Netflix documentary. So there's this 4-part documentary on Netflix about this this bank robbery that happened by this pizza delivery man who had a bomb strapped to his neck. Now the whole series is about the mastermind behind all this. A woman who could have alleged mastermind by a woman who could have won the audition for Annie Wilkes in Misery.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, man, this whole documentary, it's not really like out the same thing about Community like Wild Wild Country. It's produced by the same people, but it's just taking you on for a wild ride. And it's the less you know about the event, the true life event, the better.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know anything about this.
Me
Me neither.
You saw it?
I saw,
you saw
the first
episode.
Yeah, first episode.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, man.
I'm just
I
surprised.
didn't think they were going to show that.
Yeah.
You said what?
I didn't think they were going to show that. I was not expecting that.
Like
My
the
man.
the death itself?
Yeah.
I was hoping it came from the front angle, but they did like the back angle of it. But still, it was
that-
gross.
I mean, either way, it's disturbing. But it's pretty solid, man. Now, putting this show up against Wild Wild Country, Shayna thinks Evil Genius is better. I think Wild Wild Country is a little better because it's more in depth. But
I knew a little bit about Wild Wild Country going in because I had previously watched another unrelated you know how like they have like documentary series where they focus on one thing, one
Right.
episode and another thing, another episode.
Yeah.
The episode that I saw, they focused on the poisonings.
okay,
So they didn't focus on the whole
backstory.
like the
and all
whole
that.
backstory of the poison. They just focused on the poisonings itself. So I kind of knew going in what it was kind of sort of about. Like, oh, I heard of them before, but not like the whole thing.
Because this happened in 2003, right?
Yeah,
believe
early
so.
2000s.
I'm just surprised I didn't hear about. Well, I was 13 years old at that point, so obviously I wasn't really thinking about a lot of stuff.
sophomore in college.
Can I just say I can't wait for the documentary about the Fire Festival that Ja Rule had sponsored.
Oh, that's gonna be
I
hilarious.
can't wait for that documentary.
When is that coming out?
I don't know.
Right, but they
Like,
deserve
yeah.
everything that happened to
Are you
them.
gonna
Like
make
that-
it? You should make it.
They lived in tents and all that stuff. That was crazy. That was kind of hilarious though. So you want to get into this Atlanta?
So before we talk about it, I want to talk about FUBU a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Because I had finally
good one.
watched that, and yeah, man, you said that Earn looks to Alfred for validation.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of disagree. I think that show was trying to say the show's saying a lot of things because in high school clothing meant everything.
Oh yeah.
To a point
yeah.
to a point where somebody committed suicide. I think that's like the gut punch of the whole episode. But I really think there's a shared childhood trauma between Ern and Alfred that kind of makes them closer than ever. Because, you know, in that final scene, I mean, you know, Alfred isn't saying anything when Ern comes in and his mama tells him, oh, as a black man, you got to dress nice.
Yeah.
You know, and Alfred's just sitting there because they both know what happened.
That's true.
And I think there's a shared childhood trauma because of them, between them. And this may just be me, but I think I have a theory that karma doesn't want them to be successful because of that event.
That's deep.
I don't know. That's just me.
You know, I didn't like the way that Ern sort of let my man take that blame for that, though. Because the way he did it, and it sort of symbolizes what he does in a lot of situations. He runs from issues.
Yes.
Right.
You know, and it's sort of just like, all right, that's why he's this way, because since a kid, he's been running from stuff. He's been avoiding confrontation. But I think the episode after that one, well, the episode before that when he got in a fight with Tracy, I think that was the first time that Ern really stepped up and stood up for himself in a long time.
Even though Tracy
did beat him, Tracy beat him down.
But Tracy didn't want to.
But he didn't want to. But I think that Ern needed that. He needed that validation that he could stand up on his own, you know, fight his own battles, and that kind of changed his mentality a little bit.
You know what? I agree and kind of disagree. I think like when he was a kid and he ran away, he was a kid. Kids make mistakes. When you're an adult and you run away, you should know better. And I think in the finale, we can just hit to a finale now.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, go ahead. I want y'all to start. Go ahead.
All right, so the finale was pretty much the culmination of everything that happened in the season. And it sort of reverted back to even the beginning of Atlanta. So it had like the reference to the couch and sitting on the couch. And at this point, Ern was trying to get this. So they had a tour, I don't know what country it was.
It was a European tour.
A European tour. And Ern was trying to get everybody together for it. And of course, the rest of them just chilled. They relaxed. They had no worries.
The cleaning crew was relaxed. The moving crew.
The moving crew was they killed me. The little kids playing video games.
Right.
Like, who kid is this? But anyway, the story is just pretty much Ern trying to get them on this flight for the European tour, and the craziness that sort of happened around that, which culminated in him having a gun that he's supposed to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And he added in his backpack when he got to the airport.
Right.
And he somehow finessed this gun into
Clark County.
Clark County's bag. Which I still don't know how he did that. But then Clark County ended up putting the blame on his manager. Right. And then, long story short, Ern was able to get on the plane. He went on his trip to Europe. And then this is when Al actually told Ern that, you know, you're my manager. I'm going to stick with you. You're my family. Right. You know, the only one I can really trust.
That was a great monologue.
The really good monologue though was
with him and Darius talking.
Yeah, him and Darius at that place,
the Jewish passport making place.
Yes, the Jewish passport making place. That was such a good scene. I just love the conversation they had about sort of just like success. You know, some of the things where, and I'm trying to remember because it was like 2 weeks ago, but it was just a powerful scene that talks about the struggle that they had to face and sort of why, you know, they had this mentality that they have right now. Right. I mean, what y'all think?
Go ahead, Shayna.
I thought it was a really good conversation. I thought it was, like you said, like a powerful scene. I don't know, like the conversation that Ern had with Paperboy at the end, that was just like my favorite scene of the whole episode. I still want to know. I'm like, this is like some Ocean's 11 shit. Like, how did he get that gun?
I don't know how he did that.
I remember the gun, like he put the gun in the bag.
He said, hey man, let me get that bin. And I think the bin probably had Clark's stuff in it. He was like, hey man, can I use your bin? So then I remember Clark said something like, well, you know, the guy acts nicely. I remember he said that to his manager as he was giving it to him.
Oh, okay.
Might have missed that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But I think okay, I got a few things to touch on. Like, I think Ern, I've always pulled for him throughout. Like, I know y'all say, man, he a bad manager. I know, but
I think so.
I think he tries. He really does try. And I know with some people that's not enough because you shouldn't always depend on family to be your manager. But I think in that moment, you know, Alfred was like, all right, man, I saw what you did. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you need to do. Just because you ain't rich and Jewish or nothing don't mean you can't do stuff like that. You know, and I think that was a learning moment for Ern. And I think at the same time, I think Clark County's going to be an interesting antagonist. Because I'm really fascinated by this guy. I didn't like him like the first episode I met him. The second episode where they threatened to beat up the engineer.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a little goofy, but I think he might be a worthy antagonist to Alfred.
You know what? I think he's technically supposed to be Chance the Rapper.
Yes.
I think in the beginning he started out as that, but I think he's going to manifest into his own little character.
Yeah, but I really think that Earn, he truly does mean well. You know, he's trying his hardest. He just has to get out of his own way sometimes. I think he's just doing things that kind of self-sabotages. Even with his relationship with Van, like he didn't have to come at her like that. I mean, he just showing his lack of appreciation for her, you know, his lack of awareness of the stuff that she sacrificed, you know, in her life. And I think it was such a touching moment when Earn was talking to his baby, Lottie. Mm-hmm. And that little scene they had where they're just sort of like, you know, he just, I think she wiped his face or something like that. And just showing that the love that he has for her. And unfortunately, you know, it just didn't work out for the parents, you know, but he still has this deep love. He wants to be successful for her.
I don't know why he just won't man up and say, Van, I love you. Like break out into a song and just sing an old like what's that song, Girl, You Know I Love You? Who made that? I don't know, but
Lenny Williams.
Girl,
Yeah.
You know
I don't know why he just won't break into a song to this woman, like, cause we know he loves her, but
Right.
he's just like, I don't know if he's just not man enough to say it, or he just like he said when
he doesn't want to alter to do what it takes to be with her.
But why
Which
not?
I don't understand, right?
I mean, if you're trying to like be a man and trying to get your life together, your career, your family, I mean, like I feel like Earn, I love him because I got a lot of sympathy for him, but I feel like the answer's right in his face. He's just not willing to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he just feels like, you know, he has this task complete right now. Maybe it could be a situation where once, you know, Paperboy blows up, you know, then he'll get back in her life because he feels that he can actually, you know, take care of them.
her.
Right. I think at this point he's just like, you know, he's broke.
Yeah, he said
He's
to
not in the
Darius,
mindset.
he said to Darius, I don't want a handout. I get it, but you can still have the best of both worlds. You can have one world while you're working on the other. That's the one thing I don't think he understands.
I just love how Darius, he's just, he's so carefree. He has no worries whatsoever. Like, he's not stressed. And he's just so, like, observant of situations. And he gets, like, the greatest advice at the perfect time.
I think everybody had a moment to themselves that changed them forever. With Darius, I think it was Teddy Perkins. Mm-hmm. With Alfred, I think it was the woods. He got lost in the woods.
Yeah.
And with Earn, you know, I think it was reflecting back on FUBU, because I think all that. I think you could look at that whole episode as Earn thinking back.
Yeah. That could be. Yeah. It could. I look at it as potentially him still being in that car. You know, them driving home, and I agree. It's just reflecting on his childhood.
Right.
When you look at Darius, though, I feel like after that incident with Teddy Perkins, he became a lot more just like, I guess, thinking like existential list, I guess, like just thinking big picture now.
Right, because he was talking to my girl, Van's girlfriend in the pool, like, you know, because I remember Van was like, how'd you get here? Oh, you know, that's an even more interesting concept. She's like, no, how'd you get here to Drake's house? You know, like, yeah.
Like, he wasn't like that before that incident. I feel like, I mean, he was a little bit, but it got more extreme, though, a little bit later. But, they all went through their own trials. And I just love how they left my man Tracy hanging, though. Yeah. They left him at the apartment with his girl.
So they're moving out, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with him.
Yeah, they're moving out.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought was going on.
And sometimes you got to leave those, and that's about life. Sometimes you got to leave those people behind who you know ain't going to really, you know, help you in the future. And I think that's the whole mentality, that mentality shift. So I'm thinking next season, if there is one, you're going to start to see more. Yeah, I think you're going to start to see more of the success happening. You know, I think this season was the struggle. I think the first season was just sort of finding themselves. This season was just like the struggle. And then hopefully, I hope they see like success going forward, because I can't deal with this much, just this many issues in terms of them struggling.
I don't know.
That's part of the show.
Because Atlanta is probably the only show on TV right now with black people that speaks like the truth about black poverty.
And you could even compare that to another show, Shameless. If you actually saw the Gallaghers come up in the world, there'll be no purpose. Like, people will admit, like, even with Roseanne, when Roseanne finally became rich that second to last season before this revival, everybody was like, Roseanne changed. Yeah. It was about the working class family, you know. I don't know, man. I want to see them blow up, but I want to see them blow up in the series finale.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah, I don't think it'll last long if they like become like super duper successful. But with the rap game like the way it is now, I don't know. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
I mean, we have a Cardi B. You know what I'm
she's
saying?
a plant, so she's an industry plant.
You think so?
Yes.
I just think that, and going back to Atlanta, I think where Paperboy doesn't really know how to handle success, though. I think that's gonna be the issue. I don't know if he has that. He wants to continue to remain street. He want to remain real, and him trying to remain street is pushing some opportunities away that he could have.
But he learned his lesson though, because at the end didn't he take the Instagram picture with the guy? Like, come here, man, let's take a pic. I feel like these events change these people. Like Van going to Drake's party kind of changed her. Like, I'm a mother and I'm trying to take a picture with Drake, and it ain't even really him. It's a whole
It's a cutout.
What do you call it? It was a fat head, or
Right? Yeah.
right.
But it's deep, man. I love the show. I'm hoping for season 3. I've been hearing stuff saying that he may not do it. But
I think he'll do it. It may take a while, like Arrested Development, but he'll do it.
Yeah.
Or like Boondocks, because Boondocks wasn't coming out like every year.
That we don't speak about that last season though, because Aaron Magruder wasn't involved.
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't.
We need him.
So y'all, we got the free topic today. So we've been freely talking for this whole 40 minutes. I want to ask something that I recently saw in a tweet.
We only got 10 minutes left.
We got a little bit over 10. So I recently saw this in a tweet, and I want to know if there's any validity in it. So it was this guy, I forgot his name, Jacob something. He tweeted, the word or the term straight white male is now similar to the N-word.
Never.
No.
And he has some things that sort of backed up his claim, but again, from his perspective.
Never.
Now, in a controversial sense, I believe if you call a gay person, the word fag, I believe that can be as hurtful as, but that's just me. I really think that's a hateful word.
I mean, his point was that people throw it out there when they throw out the term straight white male, it automatically, silences, their voice or something to that extent.
No.
It depends on the context, though. I mean, I don't think it's as bad as nigger, never.
Right.
But I think it depends on the context on which it's offending somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it this way. The N-word is a loaded term that's been used to, demonize and sort of ostracize a group of people for hundreds of years. Whereas being a straight white male is kind of just a reality that one may have. And it doesn't necessarily generalize a group of people to an extent. I mean, yes, some people may generalize saying that you come from an area of privilege, but that's not really generalized.
Nigger means you're less than because you're black, and straight white male is like a allegory, like you have all these advantages because you're a straight white male. So they're not even in the same ballpark, in my opinion, as far as a slur.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a slur. And I like to say that they're using it to try to silence straight white men.
Right.
I don't know. Like the N-word is not used to silence black people.
Right.
It's used to offend.
Used to offend, that's true. I mean, I just look at the power dynamics and using the N-word, obviously, within its history, it's the context of marginalizing a group of people, right? If you're called that, that's reducing you down to the smallest minuscule of people.
Oh, a straight white male. Okay, we gotta talk about this. Tiffany Haddish audiobook, her memoir. So it came out recently that Tucker Max, a straight white male that used to write books about just hooking up with women.
Yeah.
Used to write hilarious stories. I used to be a fan. He ghost wrote Tiffany Haddish's memoir, and he recently came out and said, I was brought in as a ghostwriter. She's a terrible writer, so I was brought in to kind of help. And some people, were like, oh, well, that's, somebody trying to take credit for, a black person's success. And there were all these different angles coming at it, and he was just like, no, I was just telling the truth. She's a gifted comedian. Like, she has a great story. I just had to be the writer. So a lot of people were calling that out because Tucker Max has said some very misogynist things in his stories.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Once upon a time, I've laughed at some of the things he said, but I'm like, dude, like, you should be the product of some of these Me Too
Right.
tweets. And he's like, well, no, I was young and I was just having fun, and I'm not as despicable as Harvey Weinstein and all that. I'm like, you may not have as much power as them, but you're still kind of in that category.
I mean, that's deep. I know a lot of people are ghostwriters. I mean, that's not anything new.
I think most books, like written by, like, I don't believe Steve Harvey wrote anything.
Oh, no.
Right.
Like, that book, I mean, it's garbage anyway, but I don't think he wrote that. Like, I don't, like, when you have, like, Kevin Hart, like, I don't think you wrote, like, when you have time to write a book.
Exactly.
Books take a long time. Like,
Take years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there is exceptions to the rule. Like I think Tyler Perry wrote a book in Medea's voice. I think he sincerely wrote that book because he knows Medea. He knows Medea.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think that was worth considering. Like that's this is a straight white male coming out saying, "Oh yeah, I'm for Me Too." But I'm like, man, your past kind of shows you saying some stuff that correlates with this.
Okay, you said that the gentleman that Ghost wrote her book, he has a lot of misogynistic jokes. Is it a misogynist if she's saying his jokes?
That's an interesting point. But here, let me tell you this though. I mean, he has one story in there where he was about to have anal for the first time with a woman, and his friend hid in the closet and videotaped it. It ended badly. It ended badly. But
wait, these are real stories?
Yeah, these are real stories. That's not consent. And I know when an interviewer for I think it was either Jezebel or Slate. It was Slate. Was interviewing him. He was like, "Well, are you conflating consent with something? I don't know." He knows how to deflect questions well because I know he's catched a lot of flack in his career. Yeah. But again, you got this straight white male trying to say, "Oh, I'm not with them," but you kind of are.
Yeah, that's
and that is a thing. If Tiffany Haddish were to say some of Tucker Max jokes, I mean, would they be taken with offense? Probably not.
Probably not. Well, that's tough to say though. That's tough, especially in this day and age where people are up in arms.
And I thought the whole point of a ghostwriter is they don't know who you are.
Right. He wanted to take credit, and he tried to act like he wasn't trying to. He was just like, "Well, I got this new book coming out, guys, and it's right here. No, I haven't turned to a black woman, but I helped Tiffany Haddish write her book." And I'm like, "Dog, you're supposed to stay silent.
Right.
Like, why are you doing this?" I think he just wanted some shine.
Yeah, because I haven't heard of his name in a minute. So
I mean, he got money. I think he just wanted shine, though.
Yeah, but it's deep though, because I think the whole conversation that the guy was trying to make in terms of the straight white male is coming from a perspective of not understanding just the value, the impact of that word, and the impact of being minority in this country. I think that we often forget we live in our own little worlds, and we forget that there's outside perspectives that, they don't think the same way, or other people may have different experiences. But before you say something, you have to think, all right, is this going to actually, cause more outrage than I'm expecting? Yeah. And I mean, it's just something you got to be, cognizant of.
I got to ask one question. Do y'all think Solo's going to be good? I mean, I want to see what Donald Glover does as Lando, but other than that, I mean, Noah Emmerich is Han Solo. I'm like, eh. Plus, they got Daenerys in there. I'm like,
I'm not that excited to see it.
Huh? You don't like?
No, I like Emilia Clarke, but I feel like she's just playing like the love interest, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that movie.
I'll see it, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just being made as something like a fun origin story.
I just feel like they're just doing this to make more money, obviously. I mean, it gets old. Like, just give it a rest. Like, Star Wars, they made a new movie every year for like the past, 3 or 4 years?
I need to see a Yoda origin film. I don't think that. I think that's more than the money. That needs to be made.
I don't know if I want to see that.
I need to
It's
see
getting
Yoda,
old,
man.
though.
Well, I mean, it's going to be out forever, man. Star Wars.
But like every year.
Right. Even with Marvel, I'm like, man, I'm kind of over it now. Although I'm going to,
Infinity War was nice, man.
And I'm still going to go see Ant-Man.
But you know what? I'll say this. With Marvel, there's different characters with different things they're going through, and it makes it seem fresh and new. With Star Wars, I just think it just all feels the same. Like, it's hard for me to distinguish between what was the one that came out 2 years ago?
Rogue One?
Rogue One and the one that came out last year.
Last Jedi was dope. But all right, you want to go on to final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess what are the final thoughts for this episode? We had a lot of final thoughts. Who want to go? Who want to start? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to like.
Well, just hold your mother close for this past Mother's Day, and don't forget about your father, because Father's Day is a day that's largely forgotten. And just don't forget about your dad. If he's your dad, like if he's been in your life, get him something, man. Get him some golf balls or something. Do something.
Okay. On Father's Day, I'm logging off of all social media. I don't want to see I'm the father and the mother posts.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of negativity on Father's Day.
For real.
It
People got some
shouldn't be,
pent up anger and resentment towards
I
Father's
know
Day.
a lot of single fathers. Like, I know quite a few.
Mm.
And I don't see them post bitter posts on Mother's Day.
Ooh, that's another topic we get into. All right. I was going to say this. That issue is because I feel like as the woman has to be, I mean, obviously it's the social norms state, women, they're the nurturers, they're the ones who are taking care of the kids. And then being a single woman, you're then asked to do those other things on top of that. So I think that it could just be the societal pressure of having to do both things. And I don't know. Whereas the men, you don't have to be as involved. You can just sort of be there. And there's not really a lot of single fathers I've noticed on social media either. So
They ain't trying to advertise it. They're being humble.
yeah, I guess.
That's what I think.
Yeah, like the single fathers that I know, like I know them personally, so I know personally that you're a single father.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know just gauging off of
Facebook.
your Facebook post or your Twitter feed that you were a single dad.
Mm. So I guess my final thoughts for today is that continue to watch good movies.
Definitely so. Hey, check out Fargo when you get a chance. I'm talking to both of you. Fargo was a great show.
I've heard it was a good show. I just never had the time to watch it. Again, check out. I got to check out Deadpool too. I'm excited to go see that.
You'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, but the summary of this episode, just
Free
for all. Watch Atlanta if you haven't. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Get that Royce 5'9" album.
Yep.
Watch Evil Genius.
Watch Evil Genius. And with that being said, it's been another great episode, you all. We will see you soon.